Go.
So I want to first thank everyone for getting on this call tonight. And Ashley and I are super, super excited about what we're going to share because really it's something we haven't talked about much. And God has been sort of slowly placing it on my heart over the past couple of months. And Ashley's been working with her team, and we feel like now is the right timing to all of you. I'm going to go ahead and have Ashley get started. For those of you that did not watch the video we asked you to watch, she's going to go recap and talk a bit about what we'll dive into today.
Okay, sorry, I was just going through and I tried to mute you all. So if you want to say something, please unmute yourself. What I'm going to start with is recapping the video that you were supposed to watch today. If you didn't get a chance, I strongly recommend watching it. It's only 8 minutes long. But what the video was about is from Whitney Warren. She was just kind of talking about, people would always ask her, how did you get to Emerald? How did you do it so quickly? What would you recommend? And she got to thinking about it and realized that she got to Emerald so quickly because that's what her focus was. Her focus was growing her team and growing the business. From the day that she started Plexus, she got into it for the business side of things. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think sometimes people feel ashamed that I'm getting into it for the business side. Everybody has a different reason as to why they got into the products. Whatever your reason is, embrace it and make it work for your journey. And so she just kind of talked about how she got into it for the business, and that's what she shared. She shared the business. She really didn't spend much time sharing the products because she wasn't looking for customers. She was looking to grow her business. And so when she looked back, that's how she grew her team so fast, is because she was attracting other people that were in it for the business. That's not to say that you don't need to share these products. These products are great, and it's a great way to build customers and to build belief in the products and all that. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a diamond, you have to have business builders on your team. And if you want business builders on your team, you have to actually share the business. And so now Lorelai is going to talk a little bit as to how to share the business. I know that can be a daunting subject to a lot of us. And so she's going to dive into how we share the business.
And first, I really want to say, I think it's been on my heart for such a long time because I've been hesitant. All of you know, I never got into this for the business. I got into this because I felt a prompting to get into it. I got into it because it was a product that I could stand behind and wasn't full of fillers, and I absolutely believed in that. I saw people whose lives had been changed from it and by it. And so I haven't talked about the business much. And I think that that's been okay. However, I'm feeling more and more and more like there are people out there, there are those of you on this call right now that need this business to work for you. And the truth is, the way I have been leading you, I haven't necessarily done anything different but share the products. And that has worked for me. However, if we want to really grow our business, we have to talk about the business. We have to talk about how simple it is. And the truth is, you get your products paid for as soon as you have 3 people on your team. So if you sign somebody up and they want to make back their $50, they just need 3 people to sign up. And we can easily grow our businesses. However, we've always thought, well, I can only grow my business if I can convince somebody or get somebody that really needs the product, and I need them on my team. We haven't necessarily said, you can work this business, you can do this too, and you need 3 people to purchase the back, and then you've earned your first month's worth of products. And then they need to do it so they can earn theirs, and so on and so forth, so that we can all do this together. We have not talked about Plexus in that kind of dynamic. And right now, I want to apologize for not being that leader and not showing you all really what that looks like, because the truth is, I've been afraid. I've been afraid to share it in that way. I think a big part of that is I don't want people to ever think that I'm doing this because I'm in it for the money, or I want somebody else's money, or I think that money is more important than other things. That has been a fear that's held me back. And so I apologize to you for letting that fear get in the way of the instinct I've had over the past several months that I need to share the business and I need to do that more openly. And the truth is, you all know me well enough to know that's not why I would start talking about the business. And so for other people that are following me on my journey, I have to share about it and not be ashamed or fearful by it, because if those people really do care about me, love me, and want to be my friend, they're going to look past that and see who I am and what I am on the inside and know that piece about me. And so I just have to get over that. What are they thinking about me? And I'm going to encourage you all too to get over that. What are they thinking about me? Because there are people out there that are struggling to pay for their groceries. They're struggling month to month for their bills. They're struggling. And we have probably, if we're not there right now, all been there at one point or another. And so how do we share the business without people thinking that way? And there are lots of different ways. We've seen companies and probably people do it poorly. However, we can easily discuss fun things that we're doing with our income. I was able to go on a date night with my husband because of this extra income. I was able to get a pedicure because of this income. Little things that are maybe frivolous, and so we don't spend money on ourselves, that are fun, that somebody else may go, oh, I would like to have a pedicure. I would like to have a massage. I would like to have some of these things. We can talk about those things on Facebook, and then it's really not very threatening. Love getting my nails done. Thanks, Plexus paycheck. Things like that we can share. Practical things, groceries, tuition, all of those things in our lives, bills. I mean, I can remember the day that my Plexus paycheck was enough to pay for my mortgage. It was huge, the fact that that's how much I made, enough to pay for my mortgage. I thought, oh my goodness, that was really probably the moment that I started thinking, I have to tell people about this more. And even now, it paying for my kids' private school tuition, it's paying for my home birth that I'm doing, that we have to pay for the cost up front. I haven't talked about those things, and I will be talking about those things more and more because I know that there are people out there that need this. Also, the blessing that we can be. I love, Ashley does a great job of, she just posted today, if you all haven't gone to her page, talking about what would you do with another $500. And she wants to put half of it toward, she's been putting half of it toward kids' school tuition, and then the other half toward something donatable, and asking people for their feedback on what she should put it towards. And I think that's a great way, one, to get engagement and get people involved in your business a little bit, asking them, what should I give this for? What do you think? Or even I give towards a ministry that's grief counseling. And so, and I do that because of my Plexus paycheck. We wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. And I have never talked about it. People don't know that we even do that. However, how nice would it be for me to post, talk about this grief ministry, that maybe there are other people out there that are going to share it with somebody else that just lost somebody and need that counseling. And I can just share how I'm able to give because of the extra income we have. The other thing is, again, reaching out. I mean, how often are we seeing people's posts going, looking for a job, let me know if you have anything, and we're hesitant because we're afraid, is the truth. We're afraid of what people are going to think. We're afraid. And so we don't reach out. Know your diamond documentaries so you can send them to people. Also know your colors. I think about different friends in my life, and there are 4 different colors in network marketing that people talk about. Reds are your very driven, strong-willed, this is what I'm doing people. Yellows are, they care about people, they want to spend time with people for the most part, but really, really, and I'm a red-yellow combo, so if you know me, you know that I am both of those things. I'm really, really close on both of them. I love people, and I'm pretty The other is going to be green. And those people want to know the facts about everything. They want to know all the facts, all the details. And then blue. And those are your fun people. Those are the people that want to know about the manis and the petties and the trips and all those things. And so know who your audience is and who it is that you're talking to and speaking with, so you can speak their language. If you're talking to a blue and you're telling them all the details, what they're really hearing is wah, 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 wah. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. So you really have to know your audience and pour into them and have those things ready to share. So reach out. Ashley's going to talk a little bit about month to month. If you are looking for an income and you're wanting to know, well, how do I even get there? I don't even know. Okay, so I've been sharing, but what does this look like for me as far as goal setting, and what should that look like?
Okay, so yeah, we're going to dive into goals. My biggest, hold on, I'm going to let my dog out because she's going to keep shaking. Okay, sorry about that. We can avoid the collar shake all night now. Okay, so the first thing with goals is you have to do them. I am the first person, I would always ask, did you do your goals? And I'd be like, well, about those. And I finally told her I didn't do them because I was terrified of not reaching them. I am a red person through and through. If I set a goal, I have to achieve it. And I don't accept failure very well at all. And so doing goals is terrifying to me for that reason, because I don't want to fail. However, the months that I did the goals were the months that I grew my business the biggest. There is something to be said for that. You have to do your goals. You have to know what you're shooting for. You have to know when you achieved it. These are very important things with goals. And so my first thing is to do them. And when you do your goals, you want to have two different types of goals. You want to have your must-have goals. These are the things that no matter what, you have to achieve. When you write down at the beginning of the month, there is no other option. You are achieving those goals. You believe it from day one. They're happening. End of story. The other type of a goal is your crazy, they call them BHAG goals, the big, hairy, audacious goals. These are the crazy things that, yeah, they're achievable, but they're going to require a lot of work. They're going to require a lot of prayer. It's a big one out there. So you still have to make those goals because they can happen. And when those big, crazy goals happen, they're that much more to celebrate and that much more to be proud of. And they're going to grow your business in a crazy way. As you're making your goals, it is important to write them down. You cannot just think these in your head. You have to put them on paper, and you need to share them with people. People that write down their goals and share them have an 80% higher success rate just because they wrote them down. That you could think the same goal, but the minute you write them down, you've made it a goal. You've made it known to other people. I recommend posting them in your house, sharing them with your kids. There's no one that can hold you more accountable than your children. They will ask you every day, Mom, did you get it yet? Do you have another customer? Did you add another ambassador? Involve your kids, involve your husband, involve your friends, whoever are your people of accountability, include them in your goals. And make sure you're involving your leader, your ambassadors that are your upline. So send those to your upline, share them with your spouse, your friend, your kids, however that works, but involve others in your goals. When you're making your goals, it's important. There's an acronym SMART. You want to make them specific. You want to make them measurable, attainable, realistic or relevant, and time sensitive. So specific. It can't just be, I want to add some ambassadors. How many? How many ambassadors are you going to add? Is there a certain date? That's the time sensitive. So is this just by the end of the month? Are you going to set weekly goals? How are you going to do that? Measurable. Again, by saying 3, you've put a measure on it. You know when you've achieved it and when or if you didn't. Attainable. You know, if you're just starting to say, hey, I'm going to add 25 ambassadors this month, is it possible? Sure. If you have a ridiculous amount of time to spend or a ton of events lined up or something, it is. But for the majority of us to add 25 ambassadors in a month when we've just started, that's a little outside of the realm of possibility. So make sure you're at least talking to your leaders and figuring out what's attainable for you and where you're at. And that goes along the line with realistic as well. So make sure that they fit that criteria, and then do them. And not only when you set these goals, also set a reward, some way that you're going to celebrate them. It could be simple. It could just be, I'm going to hire a babysitter and we're going to go out to dinner. Brett and I have always done a fancy dinner. When I hit a rank, we go out to a fancy dinner and we spend a majority of that bonus on a fancy dinner. But that's stuff we would never do without Plexus. There's absolutely no way that would be possible without it. So create some sort of reward for yourself so that it motivates you. It's also going to motivate your spouse or accountability. You can make a family celebration out of it, however you want to do that, but pick some sort of reward for when you hit them. And now we're going to dive a little bit into what it looks like from month to month. A key thing when you're making these goals is to have rank goals. And so when you do rank goals, you want to have a 1 month, a 3 month, a 6 month, a 9 month, and a 1 year of what rank will you be at those points in time. And so each month you sit down and you reevaluate where you're at. When you're first starting, this is going to take a lot of back and forth with you and your upline. It's hard at the very beginning to understand exactly how you can promote in this company. And the key thing is to, again, have that communication with your upline as to how you can promote. When you're first starting out, the first goal is to get to silver. In order to get to silver, you have to have 3 ambassadors on your team. A good goal for getting to silver is to get your 3 ambassadors, but then beside that is to know 3 to 4 products really well. So make that your goal. If you're just getting started, you need to take the time this month, and let's go ahead and talk about October. Take the time to know 3 to 4 products really well. Become an expert, if you will, on those 3 products. And then you should know one-liners about all of our products. This is just basic. It can just be edges for energy. Accelerator helps to accelerate your metabolism. Just little one-liners about all of the products, but know 3 to 4 of them very well. And how this might change as you're trying to achieve gold, say you've already hit the silver, is at this point you want to increase your product knowledge. You should now be diving into all of the products. You should know a significant amount of information about all of them, so as people are asking you, you can answer those questions more readily. Okay, so now we are looking at our 1 month, our 3 month, our 6 month, 9 month, 1 year. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here. If your goal is to be Emerald by the trip next year, there's a lot of work that has to be done between now and then. And the best way to do that is to map it out. You need to write down how many ambassadors have to join your team every single month from here until July 31st. Now keep in mind, those people really need to join your team by June 30th in order for you to hit a rank by July 31st. So don't even take the month of July into consideration if you're thinking about hitting Emerald. We need to focus on October through June 30th to get you to Emerald. To give you an idea, you have to have 1,500 points to hit Emerald, which means 300 ambassadors in your top levels, that we're not even getting into your levels 5, 6, and 7, where you're not earning as much on them. And so in order to do that, go ahead, map that out. Map out how many people, take where you're at right now, and don't look at how many ambassadors you have, look at how many active. How many people are actually purchasing each month? Because let me tell you, if I counted just my ambassadors, I'm Ruby. But I haven't seen a Ruby paycheck this month or yet, because I haven't gotten them all active at the same time. So you have to look at how many active ambassadors you have right now and then add from there. I could give you an example. And I'll go ahead. I've mapped this out for some people on my team. I will cover their names. Oh, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to see it. It's too bright. Anyways, what you have to do, let's say you have 10 people on your team right now. If you have 10 on your team right now, that means you need to add another 10 to hit to gold. So if you want to hit, realistically, you probably need to try to hit gold by November in order to become emerald in July. And so to hit gold in November as a rank up, you need to add all 10 of those people in the month of October. So that doesn't have to be you. That can be you and a bunch of teammates, but you can see how you're going to need other people, or you're going to need to get active. You're going to need to be in events. You're going to need to be reaching out daily, because you need to get 10 people on your team in order to hit gold. If you hit gold in November, then your next goal should be senior gold by January. And in order to do that, you have to add another 30 people to your team by the end of December to hit senior gold in January, which means maybe 10 one month and then 20 the next, or 15 and 15, however you want to break that down. And you really should probably give yourself a cushion and add another 5 to that number just for attrition. Is this making sense? Are we seeing where this is going? It has to be mapped out. It has to be followed. You can't just throw ranks on a page and say, this is where I want to go. You have to show how you're going to get there, because you'll never know if you're on track or not until all of a sudden in May you're going, crap, I'm not going to get there. Okay, if you know along the lines, if you've got this all mapped out, you'll know, okay, this month I fell behind. That just means I have to add more next month. And you can stay on some sort of a track. You know, everyone knows Lorelai's super close, and we would have those conversations. You know, this is how many we need our team to add this month in order for Lorelai to have a chance at hitting emerald. We took a little step back there, and that's fine. Lorelai's going to be emerald. It will happen very quickly, because we're all going to work this business like crazy, and then we're all going to be there with her. But you have to have it mapped out. You have to know. You can't just go into the month and say, I'm going to add a lot of people. What's a lot of people? A lot of people could be 5. A lot of people could be 50. You need to know what those numbers are. And so I strongly recommend getting with your upline, mapping this out for yourself. And your goal may not be emerald, and that's fine. Your goal, but you have to have goals. You have to say, you know what, my goal is to help fund an orphanage. Okay, so what's the dollar amount that's going to help you do that? Maybe my goal is to help send missionaries overseas. So what is the dollar amount? And then equate that with a rank. You know, maybe all you need to do, maybe all you're looking for is to get to ruby. Maybe all you want to do is get to gold or senior gold. I promise you, once you get there, you'll want to keep going. But you still have to have these goals in mind, and you have to map them out as to how you're going to get there. It may not be monetary at all. It may be monetary for you personally. It may be that you want to take that money and give it away to others, and that's awesome. But there's still a dollar amount at the end of the day that is your goal to help achieve and to help pursue. And so my recommendation for all of you is take a look as to why you're doing this. Take a look as to what you want out of it, and then take a look at what that rank is and start mapping out how you're going to get to that rank, and map out a timeline. Do you want, not just I want to get to ruby, I want to get to ruby by next summer. How do I get to ruby by next summer? You can then work backwards from there. So I could go on and on and on. I will tell you that this is something that I'm working on with my team. We have mapped it all out. After this call, we're going to get on the phone and we're going to figure out how they're going to get this. It's not just mapping it out. Now that it's mapped out, how are you going to do it? So I recommend that all of you set goals for yourself. Let us know what they are so we can celebrate with you. There's nothing more fun than celebrating other people's accomplishments. This is not a competition. You do not need to compare yourself to anybody else. Hitting gold is ridiculously hard. Don't get overwhelmed by hitting gold. It is hard to get there. It's the hardest part of your journey. Once you get to gold, you can do anything from that point on, because now you get the business. So don't get overwhelmed by hitting gold. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. You can get there. And just remember that Plexus is not a lottery ticket. It's not just I joined, now let's see how much money I can get. You joined, now you have to put the work in. So set those goals. Don't feel like you have to compare yourself to everybody else. And let us know how we can help you. We'd love to sit down with you and map it all out for you. Nothing makes me more happy than mapping stuff out, because I am a red person through and through. So I love the numbers. If you need help, I'm here. Lorelai.
So 2 things, I guess, that I'm thinking just off the bat after you were talking is when I hear Ashley talk about me hitting Emerald, I'm going to be honest, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable because, again, I don't ever want this to be about me. And for those of you on this call that you're not all about the business, you love the products, you think they're great, you think they're going to help people, that's still where I am, which I think is why it makes me a little uncomfortable sometimes. But what Emerald truly represents to me is how many people on my team that your lives are being changed. That I know there are so many of you, and that's where my conviction is continuing to come up, is there are so many of you saying, I need this business to work. I want this business to work. And so for me to hit that point really means that there are so many people on my team that are hitting their goals and they're experiencing financial freedom. And you all are making 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And when you start just being able to stay at home and do this full time instead of your other jobs, that is what that means to me and what that speaks to me. And that's what I want for so many of you. And I think that for those of us that didn't get into this for the business, that's the piece that probably so many of our hearts, it resonates with, is this isn't about me and my journey. This is about my team and their freedom, not health freedoms, but financial freedoms that we have. And the truth is, how much does that go along with? Stress attributes, where I think 75% of Americans are full of stress and therefore causing them to be sick and ill. Well, how much of that stress contributes to finances? And so those finances were helping to alleviate that stress and helping people experience health freedom because they're not stressed. They're sleeping more. They're taking better care of their bodies because we're alleviating that stress for them. And so that's the place that I have to put myself in. And that's where we attract what we talk about. When we're on Facebook, we can post those statistics about stress and financial freedom and how you're happy that you didn't have to put in that overtime this week because your Plexus paycheck allowed you to not, work 50 hours a week. You only had to do 40 hours a week because of this at-home business you get to do in the nooks and crannies of your day. So as we attract what we talk about, so most of our team, we have nurses and healthcare providers on our team, and we have teachers on our team. I would venture to say that makes up about 80% of who our team consists of, which truly is amazing. However, the reason that's the case is because that's the audience we're reaching. That's who we are. And therefore, that's who we're attracting, is those same people. And if we want business builders on our team, people that need the business, want the business, see the business for what it is, we do have to start talking about it a little bit more. The other thing, Ashley mentioned it, but talking with your upline, they're your partner in this. They want to see you succeed. I know every single my level ones I try to communicate with, and the last couple weeks have been really tough because I have been filling in for somebody at work and working full time, so they haven't gotten quite as much of me as normal. But I really try once a week to touch base with them and talk with them. And so if your sponsor isn't doing that with you, please reach out to them. And you guys do a great job for me with that, reaching out to me if you need something, and I appreciate that. But sometimes we do just get busy with our day-to-day, but they're your advocate and they want you to win. They want to see you succeed. The other thing, I'm going to encourage every single one of you to reach out to your inactives, and I want you to reach out to your wholesale buyers. These are the people that may have quit because they couldn't afford it. Did we ever offer them the opportunity to join you on the business journey because they couldn't afford it? and say, hey, there is this opportunity. Let's go ahead and not be ashamed to go back and say, you know what, I'm so sorry I did not offer this to you previously. However, I've seen this change lives. This is changing my life. I want you to be able to have this business opportunity with me, and show them a little bit about what that looks like for them, both those inactives and those wholesale buyers. And Ashley and I have been talking. Our team page has solely really not been a business page. I've encouraged you all to get on the Paladins page for the business. However, that needs to change. If we're going to change the temperature, if we're going to change people's lives, we do have to talk about the business more than what we are. And that does not mean that we're going to stop talking about health and wellness and the products and what it does, because that's just, again, 80% of us are teachers and healthcare professionals. That's just who we are. So we're not going to stop doing that. However, you may start to see more business related posts and things. And we don't want to scare off those inactives that are on our team page or those wholesale buyers. And so it's going to be best to sort of let them know, hey, you know, this has been on my heart. I want to share this, and just encourage that so they're not surprised as they see maybe a few more business posts here and there, and encouraging you all to reach out and to grow your businesses. So, Ashley, do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I feel like it was a lot of numbers, but that's kind of what it is to rank up. So sorry if I overwhelmed any of you with my redness over here.
Let's go ahead. We just have really maybe five or six more minutes. What questions does anybody have? How do you feel about that?
Don't forget you have to unmute yourselves.
I appreciate, Ashley, what you've done, and actually would like to see more of those numbers, because I've never seen that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I've never seen you need to be this by this and this by this and this by this to get to this. Mm-hmm. And I'm great at organizing. I'm great at motivating, but that kind of stuff I am not good at.
Sure.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, and I can take a picture of what I did. I did this for 2 specific teammates that want it, and they told me where they're at right now. So how many active ambassadors they have right now, and then they gave me their goal to be an Emerald by next July 31st, and then I mapped it out. So, I mean, I'm willing to do that. I have no problem. I like doing numbers. It took me, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
So big time commitment. I would just need you to send me your end goal and where you're at today, and I can tell you what you're going to have to do. Then you can look at it and see if you're going to need to adjust based on what those numbers look like.
Yeah.
Instead of you doing that, Ashley, could Sarah and I do that for Deb, and that way it's kind of training for Sarah.
Yeah. That would be great. But I too need to see that, so that if I get to a point, then I can start doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know where to start with it. I think once I see it, then I'm able to do it.
Yeah, the 3 of us can get on a Zoom call and we can all that out together. I think that'd be perfect.
The biggest thing to know when you're mapping out your goals is you have to hit the numbers the month before to the following month. So like people think if I have 10 today and I want to be gold, that I can do it in October. Well, you can't. I mean, you could, but those people would all have to go 100 over their welcome pack, which is a really hard thing to do in their joining month. So.
Okay.
Any other questions? That was great, Deb. Thank you. Or comments, feelings about this? Does it scare anybody?
I'll add that it does. Oh, is Beth talking?
No. I just said the numbers are a little overwhelming. I mean, for like where I want to be and what it's going to take to get there.
1 month at a time.
But I see that great book on the shelf behind you, Beth. And so I know that you can talk yourself into positivity and you can get there.
I've got 2 going right now.
There you go. So you can do this.
trying to keep up on 2 books.
All right, Micah, what do you have for us?
Well, it was a very intriguing perspective because I really haven't even thought that way. And to think of it as you have to actually go for people that are business minded to be able to rank up like that versus wholesale customers or wholesale ambassadors, which I feel like is what I usually gear people for. Like, if this will be good for them financially to go wholesale, then that makes sense and you should do that, you know? So, it's very interesting to think about. It's also very intimidating, which is, I think, what you were talking about when I got on here. It's intimidating thinking about posting about money stuff on Facebook because of just, I am afraid of how that will look. And I don't want it ever to feel like, I don't want people to ever think that this is just about money and I'm adding people for my money and, you know, that kind of thing. So that's intimidating to me. And I don't know exactly how to go about it just yet, but it's intriguing.
Yeah, go look at Ashley's post. She made a great post today that does exactly that.
Is Ashley the one whose video that was?
No, Ashley.
Oh, Ashley here.
Me, yeah. No, I don't make that great of
Okay.
videos.
It was a great post, though. It was an awesome post.
Yeah. I'll tag you in it.
I have one more question. Sorry. Yeah. Is it possible to get a hold of that the girl that actually made that video? Is it possible to see what her messages were to her people about the business opportunity?
I would doubt that we're going to be able to get a hold of that because at her rank, she has so many messages every single day that the likelihood of that is pretty slim.
I would say, though, Carissa's really good with words. Her messages, I think you can take those and make them your own. And she has some great scripts on the team page and stuff like that. So I would definitely follow Carissa's word suggestions.
Yeah, it's posted on Paladins too,
Mm-hmm.
like that she says.